What's up guys, Jeff with Top Star Detailing Las Vegas. In today's video, we're gonna be sharing with you our process for detailing with two people on the job. Okay, so the first thing that we like to do when we're here with two of us on the job, normally we'll have one person do the interior blowout with the Tornador. That person will also do the vacuuming, while the second person starts on the exterior. Usually it's going to be me that's working on the wheels while Corum's doing the interior. We just have our system down and it tends to work that way. He likes working on the interior, I like working on the exterior. But the goal is you always want to have at least one person doing something at all times. You don't want just somebody standing around doing nothing, watching the other person work, right? Another thing I want to point out, if Corum, when you come over here, we actually want to point out the generator. If you're working with two people, you're going to need a generator that can support running multiple pieces of equipment at the same time. This is the Champion 4500. We've got two of these. We rotate them out. This actually does the job really well, where we can run both the vacuum and the pressure washer at the same time. If you don't have a generator that can do that, you might want to bring like an extension cord where you can plug into the client's power source and maybe run something off of that at the same time. But you're gonna need power that can supply multiple pieces of equipment to be running at the same time in order to perform with a helper.
So after the initial vacuum and blowout, usually what I'll do is I'll go in and start doing the wipe down. If the car is bigger, like an SUV or a truck, then Jeff will usually meet me after he does the wheels and kind of split the car down the middle. If it's a smaller car like this, I usually just take care of the wipe down, especially, I mean, this car has pretty much essentially no dirt on it. So for this vehicle, I'm not gonna be using any brushes or anything like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some P&S diluted 10:1. I'm gonna squirt it down on a damp microfiber towel. And I'm gonna just kind of give this car a once over just to get the dirt off. I'm just gonna kind of, no, I'm not really putting a lot of pressure. I'm just kind of doing a very light wipe down. And for a car this size, that will usually take me about, I don't know, 15 to 20 minutes, just depending on how dirty it is. And then after I'm done with that, we wait till the end to do the glass. We'll come out, bust out the outside. So we'll show you guys that in the next clip. Jeff, what the hell are you eating for breakfast, bro?
Leftover meatball sub from last night, Chiba Hut.
Chiba Hut.
Chiba Hut, good stuff.
Hell yeah.
Get you through till we get our brunch, our little break between details. We can go grab some brunch somewhere.
Yummy. All right, so I finished the wipe down, you finished the wheels. What's next?
Yeah, so before we fire up the generator and crank up the noise on that, the next step is we're gonna cool down the panels by wetting down all the panels on the car, foam down the vehicle. I'm gonna use the mitt on the stick to do all the upper surfaces, the roof, windshield. Corum usually goes around the sides, and then we meet somewhere in the middle of the car. We just kind of go down the sides and split the car down the middle. That tends to be our fastest process for getting this done.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's go.
Down, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner talking home run, touchdown, buzzer beater, do it all now, top corner like, all in, lit the fire when you doubted, now I'm all in, put me with the best, bring the stars in, undefeated mode, no falsing, doubted when I lost, slide back when I win, fade and pay the cost, but I rose.
When you're putting wet coat on in direct sunlight, you have to make sure the panels are cooled first. Apply, and then rinse off immediately. Don't let it dwell in the sun. As we move into the drying process, Corum and I each grab a towel, we split the car down the middle, and we start drying. So now that the vehicle's dry, when you have access to a garage, like we have access to a garage right here, it's always a good idea to pull the vehicle into the garage to do the glass. The reason being is when you're doing glass in direct sunlight, it can be really hard to achieve those streak-free results. So what we like to do is we pull it into the shade, let the glass cool down for a few minutes, and then we'll do the glass in the garage, and that's gonna give us that nice streak-free results that we're looking for.
So Jeff, are you ever worried about like driving the client's vehicle or causing damage or something like that?
Yeah, that's a good question. So it comes down to a few things. One, you want to make sure that you have a good insurance policy just in case anything were to happen. For me, I don't really worry about it too much because, you know, I am an expert driver as well as we're fully insured. So if something were to actually happen, we would be covered for that. But you know, you do want to be careful, especially driving vehicles like this where it's a high-end vehicle. Any amount of damage, a little scratch, you catch the mirror on the door on the way in or something is going to cause a significant amount of damage and be very costly. So be careful out there, guys.
Where's that expert driver certificate?
I have it. It's actually in the trailer. Yeah, I'll pull it out for you later.
So Jeff, why are we just standing around, man?
We're not just standing around. I'm letting the glass cool. I've already explained this to you. It takes a solid 2 to 3 minutes for the glass to cool down before I can actually go in and do the glass to get that streak-free results. And the good thing is this one doesn't have a sunroof either, so we don't have to deal with that whole situation.
Yeah, because we all know that I don't do sunroofs.
No, you're gonna do tires while I do that. Then we're gonna move on to the truck, which we're not gonna film that. And then we have another detail to go knock out after these two.
All right, I'm gonna get some B-roll of you doing the glass, Jeffrey. What are you doing, man?
I'm getting temperature readings off the glass. It's still not ready yet. You can tell, like, if you feel this glass here, that's ready to go. This still needs to cool down about another 5-10 degrees before it's ready. So we'll give it a couple more minutes and then we'll be ready to go. In the meantime, let's get a shot of this Legends Hydrate. Make sure I'm staying hydrated. It is quite warm here in the garage. Today, it's roughly 104 degrees outside, so very important to stay hydrated out there. No matter what you guys are drinking, make sure that you're drinking enough fluids, you're staying hydrated. Very important to drink electrolytes, not just water, so you don't flush out all the sodium out of your system, start to cramp up. The Legends Hydrate, we're already shipped out a ton of this stuff. Everyone that's tried it has given us great feedback on it. Everyone loves it. This is the real deal, guys. It's absolutely delicious and it'll keep you hydrated. So check out the Legends Hydrate Instagram. If you want to place an order, just shoot us a DM and we'll send one out to you. We're running low on supplies actually, so we're probably going to be sold out of this first round here in the next week or two, and then we'll have to place you know, another order for another shipment to come in. So cheers, guys.
Cheers. All right, Jeff, now that the glass is the appropriate temperature for streak freeness, tell the people about scheduling, man, especially with 2 people.
That's a great thing, Corum. I'm glad you brought that up. Very important. So in the past, when it was just me, myself in the business, I allotted a certain amount of time for each detail, express detail, executive full detail. They're all timed out in the website as far as the services go. Now that we're working together with 2 of us, we're able to get things done a lot faster. So you need to account for that when you're booking these services. So generally with both Corum and I working on it, we can get vehicles done in about half the time it would normally take me on my own. So when scheduling that out, we shorten them out so we can, instead of getting 4 to 5 cars out in a day, now we're doing like 6, 7, sometimes maybe 8 cars in a day is pretty much the max. But you want to plan that out ahead of time so you can maximize your day and get in as many cars as possible.
So Jeff, why are we getting a second unit if me and you can ride in one and do 8 cars a day? People probably want to know that. Why are we building
Yeah, that's another great... Yeah, that's another great question, Quorum. Thanks for bringing that up. The reason that we're doing that is in order to be able to scale and to grow the business, we're going to need to be able to accommodate more vehicles. The only way to actually do that is with 2 separate units. While we can do 7, maybe 8 cars a day out of 1 unit, that's pretty much the max that you can get to out of 1 unit. There's only so many hours in a day. So for us to divide up into 2 separate units, say now maybe we can do 5, 6 cars a day each out of our own separate units. Now we're able to service 11, 12 vehicles a day, where it's really going to maximize that incoming revenue potential. And not every day is going to be like that where we're fully booked up. On the days that maybe it's a little bit slower, we only have 5, 6 cars, we'll probably be riding in the van together and just knocking them out like that. And also at some point, I'd like to bring on another person, maybe 2 more people. We'll probably put them on the trailer and let them tow that behind their vehicle so me and Quorum can ride together, work together, still film content for you guys, and maximize the earning potential.
Real quick, one thing that we forgot to mention with having 2 units is the fact that we can open up a time slot twice.
So glad I have you, Quorum. That's why I brought you on, for these things that I forget. Yes, that's a great point. So normally when you're making the schedule on like the website, for example, in the calendar, there's only so many slots that you can book out, right? Say there's 12 hours in the day, right? Now, essentially, instead of having 12 hours, you have 24 hours that you can book out. So you can put 1 unit and then the second unit for that same exact time slot, where you're essentially double booking because you can disperse that out to 2 separate units now. So it essentially doubles the amount of hours that you have in the schedule, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. So that's the biggest reason why we're going to get the second unit, I feel.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
So last step for us is going to be shining the tires. If you guys have stuck around till the end of the video, we appreciate you. Thank you guys for watching. It means a lot to us. But that being said, we have created a community on the school platform called it's called Detailing Legends. We have I think about 60 people in there so far. It's been amazing. Jeff and I have been having a blast. We're doing our weekly Zoom calls. We've got a bunch of members in there that are super excited. We've all been sharing information, brotherhood, camaraderie. It just feels good to have a community of people that are like-minded and lift each other up instead of bringing each other down. And that's the whole reason that Jeff and I do have to charge that small fee of $10 per month just to keep the spammers out, man. Like we've said before, the money means nothing to us. It's more about keeping the community positive. So if you guys are interested in joining that, we'll have a link below for the school community. And we're gonna finish up these tires and we'll see you guys in a second. Hey Jeff, why do we have 2 coolers today, man?
Yeah, so we got 1 cooler for all of our drinks, snacks, and then this other little cooler, we actually just have an ice pack in this one. This is where we've been keeping the camera equipment and the mics, because we've been having this issue pretty much anytime it's over 100 degrees outside. Our camera equipment has been heating up and shutting down pretty much non-stop throughout the day. So we kind of came up with this solution to store it in here just to cool it back down. What are you guys doing out there? Are you having any issues with cameras overheating, mics overheating, things like that? Let us know, drop that in the comments below. We're thinking about actually switching over our camera from the Sony ZV-10 to, what's the one we're switching to?
It's the
Quorum?
DJI Pocket 3.
DJI Pocket 3. Quorum, come in a little bit so you don't get run over. There's a car coming. So yeah, I think we're gonna probably switch up the camera equipment. Hopefully we don't have this issue with overheating, but that one's also gonna give us a little bit more wide angle lens for a little bit better footage for you guys too. Let us know what you guys think. Drop it in the comments below. If you guys are getting value out of this content, we really appreciate your support. Subscribe to the channel, drop us a like, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you guys.
Bye.